I posted a video a couple of weeks ago in which I referred to an older video of mine looking at some of the best luxury alternatives to Hermès's most sought after creations, including the Birkin and the Kelly, without realizing how long it's been since I filmed that original video. So today I thought it would be fun for us to do an update and explore some incredible luxury handbags that might just be better than Hermes. And you might be sitting at home thinking, wait, I thought you loved Hermes. How can these pieces be better? Well, they're better in that they are more accessibly priced and they don't require you to jump through hoops, yet they deliver a similar user experience and luxurious feel. So if you'd like to explore some outstanding luxury handbags with me from heritage brands that deliver on quality, craftsmanship, attention to details, these are designs that will stand on their own. They are not just a dupe in any shape or form, but they could fill a similar gap in your collection as a Birkin, a Kelly, or a Constance would without breaking the bank and without causing so much headache. So if that sounds interesting to you and you'd like to look at some beautiful handbags with me, then make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet, and keep on watching. Let me emphasize this, none of these handbags are a direct copy of an Hermes creation. Yes, some of them might be more closely related to a Birkin, a Kelly, or a Constance, or they might be more heavily inspired by the success of these creations. Any one of these pieces that we're going to be discussing in today's video would stand on their own without there being a comparison drawn between them and one of Hermes's creations. I wanted to make sure that I pick pieces that are not trying hard to be something that they are not. They are original designs from heritage brands that have decades of experience in handcrafting creations. If you would like me to do a similar video discussing more affordable contemporary creations, let me know in the comment section and I would be happy to do that for you. But today we are picking pieces that will also deliver on the luxury experience. But why do we love Hermes bags? What makes them so special other than them being a status symbol? If you're not buying an Hermes Birkin or a Kelly just to show your success and your status, you're most likely drawn to these pieces because of the craftsmanship. Credit must be given where credit is due. Hermes's pieces are some of the most meticulously crafted pieces. There is a tremendous amount of love, attention, and care invested into every single one of their pieces. Hermes really does not cut corners when it comes to craftsmanship and artistry. So every single Hermes bag, or at least when it comes to quota bags, will be meticulously handcrafted by a single craftsperson, which is quite rare because even if you compare this to brands that are proud of their bags being produced by hand, usually there are more artisans involved in the creation of a single piece. What makes Hermes special is that each and every single piece is the creation of a single artisan, whereas other brands will have the handles created by an expert, the body of the bag will be done by a different team, the zipper might be stitched into the bag by a third team. So every single detail is crafted by someone who is a true expert on that specific detail. Whereas when it comes to Hermes, each and every single one of their artisans has to be an expert in every single detail that goes into the creation of a piece. But craftsmanship is something that I found incredibly important when it came to doing research for this video. Of course, heritage. Hermes is a brand that has been around since 1837 and they have a rich history that's rooted in quality, craftsmanship, and exclusivity. And back in the day, exclusivity came from the fact that Hermes was not willing to rush their processes. They took their time in delivering quality. So I wanted to make sure that I also pick pieces for this video from brands that have a similar history and heritage. Most of it we've looked at in previous brand deep dives. In case you are not aware, I have a little docu-series called the Truth About series where we dive deep into the history, heritage, and the behind the scenes of some of the most exclusive luxury brands out there. Not to mention that Hermes believes that luxury is that which can be repaired, which means that they have a really strong supportive system that allows you to truly enjoy and take advantage of your pieces without worrying about wear and tear, because they're not only exquisitely made, which means that they will stand the test of time, but if something was to happen to your bags, they also have the infrastructure to give your bags a facelift. They of course have their spa and repair services. So I also try to find brands that offer a similar service, so you are truly getting a similar experience to what you would get from Hermes. And without further ado, let's dive straight in. Let's talk about some of my favorite brands to look at for some truly luxurious handbags, starting with one that is better known for their jewelry than their handbags. I have no idea why that is, but I rarely, if ever, hear anyone raving about this brand's leather creations, which is Cartier. And I feel like these past couple of weeks have been really Cartier heavy. I've done several videos on Cartier focusing on their fine jewelry, but today we are here to talk about their handbags, because I do think that their handbags are incredibly underrated for the price and the designs. There are two designs that I would love to put on your radar, starting with the C De Cartier creations, which would be an amazing alternative to a Constance bag. Even though there are several different designs within this collection, my favorite piece is the shoulder bag, which has a similar boxy structured look to it as the Constance bag would. It also features an identical adjustable strap, which means that you can either carry this bag as a shoulder bag, or you can double the straps and carry it under your arm, or you could also take the strap, tuck it in the bag, and use it as a grab and go clutch bag. It features a similar soft yet boxy, slightly rounded shape to the Constance. It has a large fastening on the front, which hardware is of course something that Hermes is so known and loved for. Their hardware is so exquisitely refined, and using their hardware really elevates the overall user experience. The double C on the front is of course Cartier's emblem, which actually looks and feels a lot more subtle and a lot more under the radar than the large H on the Constance would, not only because the emblem is a little bit lesser known and a little bit more under the radar, but also because it's finished in enamel, and the enamel perfectly blends in with the color of the bag. At one point it was available in several different sizes, but recently I've only been seeing it in the mini size, and they're also doing an east-west take on it, and this bag is also available with a chain. But personally, my favorite is the classic C De Cartier bag in the mini size, and it is incredibly reasonably priced for just $3,000. Well, it's insane that I'm saying that it's just $3,000. Obviously, it is an insane amount of money to spend on a handbag, but considering the quality, the craftsmanship, the look, the feel, how timeless this creation is, and that it would add a similar facet to your collection as a Constance would, in my opinion, perhaps even more elevated because of how understated it is, for a third of the price, I really think that we are looking at a pretty good deal here. So that is a huge recommendation from Cartier. And then another bag that I quite like, which could add a similar facet to your collection as a Birkin or a Kelly would. It sits somewhere in between the two bags. I don't think it would be a direct copy of either a Birkin or a Kelly. Well, none of these bags are, but this upcoming bag feels a little bit more ambiguous, but it is a top handle tote, and I adore the top handle on this bag. And it is the Panthère Double De Cartier bag, which, as I mentioned, features a top handle. The bag itself is made of the most buttery, delicious, luxurious grained calfskin, and the handle is finished with a golden panther motif. So the handle actually has that iconic panther head, which has been the mascot of the brand since 1914. And what does this remind you of? Let me know in the comment section, because the first time I saw this bag, I immediately thought of the Midas bag from Hermes, the Midas Kelly, which is a bag that features solid gold hardware, and those are creations that are exclusively available in black in either box leather or shiny croc, and they will set you back over $100,000, whereas this bag is available in two different sizes and it ranges between $43 and $4,800 depending on the size that you go for. It has two separate compartments. It comes with a removable shoulder strap and it looks like $1,000,000 without screaming and shouting the brand name. I love the handle. I love how unique and eye-catching it is without it being just overdone or trying too hard. This to me is an incredible creation, and it also reminds me of the Capucine. It's almost as if the Capucine, the Kelly, and the Birkin had a love child. I'm not sure how three bags would make a love baby, but somehow they managed. But I actually prefer this to the Capucine, not only because the price is a lot better, but also because you do not have that large LV on the front, which can be quite shouty, loud, and in your face. So please do not overlook Cartier pieces. They also have some adorable mini bags. So if you like the look of the mini Kelly, but you're looking for something a lot more reasonably priced, considering that these mini Cartier bags are just around $1,300 a piece, which is amazing for a luxury bag. They are from the Panther C collection, so they have a C-shaped panther on the front. Not my favorite design from Cartier, but I thought I would mention it here. They do them in a mini size with a tiny little chain in either the iconic Cartier cherry red or in black. But if I was to recommend just one or two pieces from Cartier, I would either start with the C De Cartier bag or the Panther tote, depending on which style your collection is needing more. If you're all about luxury brands that have a long-standing reputation for craftsmanship and exquisite details, look no further. Here is Delvaux for you. Delvaux is the oldest luxury leather brand, founded in 1829 in Belgium. It's a brand that I also have a dedicated deep dive on. So if you would like to find out more about Delvaux and also learn about some of their other creations, I would highly recommend that you check out that video. I also visit their flagship in Brussels in that video of mine, and you can learn everything that there is to know about Delvaux. But today I wanted to share with you my thoughts on a bag that's been around since the mid-60s, and it looked contemporary back then, and somehow it manages to look contemporary even today, 60 years later, which is the Tempete. Now, Delvaux is best known for their Brilliant bag, which is a nice bag, not my personal favorite. If I could pick one, I would go for the Tempete any day. It has a similar trapeze shape to the Kelly bag and a single top handle. It comes in a huge range of different sizes, from a small size that measures just 18 centimeters to an extra large size, which is over 43 centimeters. Here we're definitely looking at a much higher price tag, because this bag, depending on the size and the leather you pick it up in, ranges between $5,000 and $10,000 in regular leathers, and then in exotic skins, truly the sky is the limit, because most of their bags are also available in an exotic skin. But I really like this design. You not only get a similar look and shape to the Kelly bag, but you get it with also a statement hardware, but a hardware that looks a lot bolder and a lot more contemporary. It has these stud details. You also get a Sango-like detail. You get the top flap. So you're getting a similar timeless silhouette, but with finishes and details that look a lot more, well, they're understated in that they're not nearly as well known and widely recognized as a Kelly bag, but look a lot more edgy and a lot more modern without you sacrificing craftsmanship and quality, because this is a brand that has been around for almost 100, almost 200 years at this point, which is kind of shocking. But it is a brand that you can definitely rely on for craftsmanship, quality, and a timeless allure. These bags come in a huge range of different colors, and you can actually find these for a fraction of the price on the pre-loved market, in case you would like to save even more money. But if you love the Kelly bag, but you're looking for something that is not nearly as in your face at this point, the Tempete might be a great creation for you to add to your radar. A brand that's not only often mentioned on the same page with Delvaux, but it's very often compared to it. And that's no surprise considering that this brand was founded only 20 years after Delvaux. And here we're talking about Moynat. Now, Moynat did disappear from the fashion scene for a few decades, but they were revived by LVMH in the recent past. And because of this constant comparison, I also have a deep dive on Moynat. But today we are, of course, here to talk about their iconic Gabrielle bag. If you're looking for a luxurious, elegantly designed handbag with a timeless silhouette and a nod to age-old craftsmanship, look no further. Be sure to check out the Moynat Gabrielle bag. Moynat started out as one of the oldest luxury trunk makers. A rumor has it even older than Louis Vuitton, so it's no surprise that this Gabrielle bag pays homage to their limousine trunks with these curved edges and curved shapes. The Gabrielle bag is one of the most beautifully crafted handbag I have ever seen, and it is quite similar to the Kelly bag in that it has a similar trapeze shape to it. It has a single top handle. It is a handle that I feel is quite unique, and it can be compared to the handle found on Hermes bags. In case you were not aware, the most time-consuming detail on an Hermes bag to craft is the rolled handle, which is the result of meticulous craftsmanship. It is actually the most expensive detail on a handbag to replace. So if you ever send your bag to the spa, just hope that the handles don't need replacing, because that is something that will set you back a pretty penny. But similar to the handle found on Hermes bags, the Gabrielle bag also features an incredibly beautifully crafted handle, and it also has a beautiful hardware. Of course, so many people love the iconic twist closure on the Birkin and the Kelly bag, and while the twist closure on the Moynat Gabrielle is a lot different, it is just as exquisitely designed. It is in the shape of an M. The Gabrielle bag comes in two sizes at this point. It comes in a PM size, which measures 25 centimeters. It comes in a BB size, which is just around 20 centimeters. And then my favorite creation from the bunch is their clutch bag, which is incredibly comparable to the Kelly pochette. And it's actually the largest bag in the range, at least when it comes to the base measurement, because the clutch bag measures 26 centimeters, but it is a lot shorter and a lot more narrow. And unlike the Kelly pochette, this one comes with a removable shoulder strap. Every single Gabrielle bag comes with a removable shoulder strap, including the clutch bag. If you could only pick one bag from this collection, well, if I could only pick one bag from this collection, I would go for the clutch bag, and I would recommend that you do the same. Even though these pieces come in a huge range and array of different leathers and colors, more often than not, you'll find them in the brand's carrot leather, which is quite comparable to Epsom. It is just slightly more matte and it has smaller grains, but these bags are also available in every single exotic leather you can think of, from lizard all the way to a Himalaya finish, which Moynat calls natural, but you can also find them in regular leathers. They also have the Gabby bag, which has a similar shape to the Gabrielle, except it is a little bit more slouchy and a little bit more relaxed, so it is more comparable to a Kelly Retorn, whereas a Gabrielle would be more similar to a Kelly Cellier. And then they also have the Gabriella bag, which again features that iconic M twist closure in the shape of a crossbody bag. So again, you are getting something along the lines of the Constance bag, but I do think that when it comes to the Kelly bag in terms of craftsmanship, shape, timeless elegance, and the exquisite materials that the Kelly bag is offered in, the Gabrielle is as close as you can get to it without you again having to jump through hoops. Moynat no longer sells their pieces online, so you would have to visit one of their boutiques to get your hands on one of their creations, but I really think that you are getting exquisite craftsmanship, beautiful materials, and a piece that will stand the test of time. I don't want to spend too much time talking about this brand and this piece because it's one that we recently did a dedicated brand deep dive on, which I can make sure to link up here for you, but I could not miss talking about the Mulberry Bayswater, which is really often compared to the Birkin, even though it feels a lot more effortless, a lot more laid back, and it's really not trying that hard. It is a bag that's under $2,000 and you are getting an exquisitely crafted piece for that much money. As I said, Hermes is so confident in their product that they're willing to repair their pieces, and the same goes for Mulberry. Mulberry is committed to craftsmanship, to quality, and recycling their pieces. They don't want you to buy something that will slowly fall out of your collection because it falls apart. They have such faith in their product that they allow you to take them back to the store and they can be repaired and be given a facelift. So if you find that aspect really important, do not overlook the Mulberry Bayswater, which feels a lot more easier and a lot more understated than a Birkin would. It comes in 2 different sizes at this point, but all of that I discuss in my Mulberry deep dive. But I love the fact, I have to point this detail out here. Of course, you have similar sangles to the Birkin, you get a similar shape. It is a top handle bag that when it comes to the larger size, you can actually carry under your shoulder, which is not something that a lot of people could do with a Birkin. You of course have the postman twist closure. And something to point out here, I'm not sure if I mentioned this in my original deep dive, but what's great about the Mulberry Bayswater is that even though it features similar handles to the Birkin, the handles are actually flexible, so you can twist and turn them, you can bend them, which makes it a lot easier for you to open and close the bag. And some of you were wondering in my original review if you can carry the flap of the Mulberry Bayswater inside the bag. Yes, you can. You can also ask Kate Moss. That's exactly how she loved carrying her Bayswater back in the early 2000s. And last but not least, speaking about unsung heroes, here is a bag that I have been singing the praises of ever since it launched in 2023, I think it was. And I'm so thrilled to see more and more people talking and raving about this creation, which is from Ferragamo. Now, Ferragamo is a brand that I have no doubt you're going to be familiar with. It's a brand that has been around for almost 100 years. They are an Italian fashion house founded in 1927 that originally specialized in luxury footwear, and I think that is what they are still best known for. But when it comes to their leather bags, there are few bags that are as beautifully done as the Hug bag, and it happens to resemble the Birkin. I think it is a bag that is very often compared to the Birkin at this point, rightfully so, but I think you are getting a Birkin-like bag that feels a lot more versatile, a lot more understated, and a lot more contemporary. To me, the Ferragamo Hug bag is truly just a modern masterpiece that blends modern design with age-old luxurious craftsmanship. You can recognize this bag for its soft, rounded silhouette that of course resembles a cozy hug or embrace, and it's truly the perfect creation for those seeking an elegant yet playful piece, and it comes in a huge range of different colors and even sizes. I love the shape, I love the top handle, I love that it is an extremely minimal, sophisticated bag, but then you have these playful details of the sangles, the name, and that puffy silhouette. It is offered in 2 different shapes, so you can find the Hug Soft and the original Hug bag, which is slightly more structured, and then as the name suggests, the Hug Soft is a little bit more relaxed and laid back, and it's also offered in some softer leathers. Speaking of which, if you are looking for pieces offered in the finest materials, Ferragamo is the brand for you to explore, because you can find these in an array of luxurious leathers, including pebbled leather, velvety suede. It also comes in snakeskin, eel, beautiful exotic skins, and for this current season they're also offering it in a crochet finish. I've seen it in denim, in frayed canvas, and if you love the Birkin Rock, which is one of the coolest, most cutting edge designs I've ever seen and I've ever bought, believe it or not, the Hug also comes in a rock finish in several different sizes, because the Hug bag is not only offered in 2 different structures, but also in 3 different sizes, in extra small, medium, and large. The medium and the large are my personal favorites because I do like this bag as a larger workhorse bag as a daily tote. But if you're looking for one with a really cool and bold twist, I think it is called the multi-zip Hug bag, which is the closest you can get to a Birkin. But this brings us to the end of today's video, discussing some of the best Hermes bag alternatives, bags that might just be better than Hermes, because Hermes is not the be-all and all of luxury. There are so many other incredible creations out there that really require no comparison. But if you have been toying with the idea of adding a Birkin or a Kelly to your collection, but you're not quite at a point where you feel comfortable doing that, or maybe you already have these pieces in your collection, but you're tired of having to worry about them, I hope you found these insights and recommendations helpful. I cannot wait to hear your thoughts in the comment section. Do you own these pieces? Are there any other creations that you would love to put on people's radar? I cannot wait to hear from you. And while you're down there, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't done so yet. I really appreciate you being here and watching, and I cannot wait to see you back here with a new video really soon.